What a logo.
I know, what a gorgeous logo. I miss seeing the old LucasArts intros.
Yeah, it's like the Fox fanfare before the movies.
It really is.
And really, I was honestly disappointed when, after Disney bought Fox, they didn't put it in front of Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, it would have been
Just
nice.
just to do it. And that's the thing with Indy. I mean, if they end up making Indy 5, because who knows with everything going on, but they won't have that mountain transition from the Paramount logo.
I know, and that's such a part of those movies.
Yeah.
I know. It would be weird to not see that at the beginning. Honestly, yeah, Indy 5, that's a whole tangent, but I'm not terribly excited at the prospect
I honestly don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, I know. It's just, anyway, that's a tangent. We'll go down later.
But maybe instead we'll get a Kyle Katarn movie.
You never know. Or maybe he'll make an appearance in...
The closest thing is the Cassian
series. I was going to say, it'd be great to have him recanonized or make an appearance in that series. Alright, here's Jarek's Vengeance Star Destroyer, which is only ever seen in this game here, this class of Super Star Destroyer.
Yeah. You know, it was really special when there was a Super Star Destroyer in Empire Strikes Back, and then everybody and their grandmother had one.
Right.
When the EU started up.
Right. Oh, the voices don't match the audio quite neatly.
It's as good as it gets.
Yeah,
20 years later.
That's one of the problems of old FMV games is it has so much to do with the speed of the computer, and you know, back then the CD-ROM drive and things like that.
Well, in general, you know, we're just starting this game, but I mean, sort of just starting it, but there's been a lot of issues. Yeah. Wink wink. There's been a lot of issues, and if I don't know if LucasArts was ever able to do this, depending on who the developer was of each game, whatever studio they worked with to make the games, but it would have been great if they were able to release the source for these engines.
Oh man, no kidding.
So we could have got proper, like, updated source ports like Doom and all the id games got.
Yeah, I know.
I know there's projects that have been worked on and are currently being worked on to get some sort of quasi source port, but
that's
nothing
true.
quite there yet.
Right. Okay, so let's see. What I'm going to do for this is go new player. And
Sturm.
I'm going to go ahead.
Come on.
Yeah, I should.
Should always do Sturm.
Sturm Antilles, my first Star Wars RPG character. I'll go ahead and put it on easy since it's really just about playing through, not making it too difficult. We just want to see the game.
Mm-hmm. You're a youngling.
Right. Alright, Narshada. The vertical city.
I hate these levels so much. I like the cinematic, though. I would like to see Narshada in a movie or a show.
Yeah. Like Solo 2 on Disney Plus, if it ever comes through.
Please, Disney.
I know.
Please.
I just feel like I need a... the first movie ended not quite on a cliffhanger, but it ended with the promise of so much further adventure, you know.
Yeah, and it was really ambiguous. I mean, they mention Jabba
Yeah.
and like him having a job or whatever, but it's really ambiguous as far as like what kind of time gap they left between Solo and then A New Hope. And um even the job that they're talking about, it might not have been
The
the
Kessel,
job
or
the job.
the like the one he ejected the spice.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
one. Yeah,
That could have just been
exactly.
the introductory job or something
Right,
like that.
right. Yeah, I think it's clear that Han and Jabba the Hutt had a history of more than several years. 8T88. Love that graphic of the scuff marks on his face.
Yeah, they took their time on that
Yeah,
model.
it's really good. This is a far cry from the cinematics of TIE Fighter that were just a mere 3 years earlier. I mean, it
Yeah, but
is.
they have a charm. But yeah, this
Oh
is a
yeah.
huge leap.
Oh no, they do have a charm, but it was a massive leap though.
It's a good thing that was a data disc and not like a visual clue like the Sith dagger.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say it'd be funny if it was just like every other late '80s or early '90s movie where he's holding up a CD-ROM,
Or a CD-ROM or a one of those Sony mini
mini
discs or
disc.
whatever.
Yeah,
I think they spent more time on AT-88's like texturing than they did on that paper mache grandmass.
right. All
I
right, here
feel
we
like I'm
go.
watching Escape from Alcatraz.
Oh damn! I was pressing the wrong button. I got him in the butt once at least. All right, let me just grab this. What am I doing? I wasn't putting my hand on the mouse. So I was like, "Oh no, my buttons! I need to."
You're you're yeah,
No
you're
need to stop recording. We'll just quickly change this real fast.
yeah,
Um,
the fun of creating a new profile on this game.
yeah, exactly. So I go mouse Y axis, I think it is,
Yeah.
and then uncheck reverse direction.
This is probably the game. This is probably the
There
game
we
that
go.
made me do flight sim type FPS controls because I still do inverted.
Yeah, it's something I've just gotten used to over the years, and
Well, you don't do inverted,
oh, I
right?
guess yeah,
You
I
just
got confused. I don't do inverted. I
and a
guess
lot of people don't.
right.
But at like LAN parties and stuff, um, there'd be friends that maybe didn't have a PC or whatever, and be like, yeah, I'd take a break and be like, yeah, you can play on my PC, but nobody ever wanted to because my controls were always inverted.
Wonky.
But now that I think about it, most games you have to enable it, and this one you have to disable it. And this
Yeah,
is
that is interesting.
this is probably the game that did it. Because before that, I probably would have been just doing the keyboard controls.
Right. Love that graffiti on the wall. Must be written in Huttese because I can't understand it.
It's not even Arubesh.
Right. Alright, little secret up here. Guess I didn't need those shield generators, but I just love exploring every little nook and cranny in these games.
Well, as much as I dislike the Narshada levels, they do have an interesting layout compared to other
Yeah,
levels in this
yeah,
game.
very
There's a
true.
lot of like this, you
Yeah.
find the secret and then you backtrack and
Mm-hmm. And again, with no hand holding, no saying go this way, go that way with an arrow or radar or
Yeah.
anything. I mean, there is a map
Whoa.
if you need it and you get lost, but it still just shows you the blueprints. Doesn't say exactly where to go or anything.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't like grands though.
No. Uh... All right, let's see here. I think there's a Rhodian right there. Oh, dressed just like Greedo. What do you know? Never
Shared
see that.
shared the same tailor. Maybe it was his brother. It's his
Yeah,
brother before
or his what
before
was
they
it?
blew up.
His friend or cousin? What was it? Paquiduke or whatever?
Paquidu. I think that was his brother though,
Was it
right?
his brother? I can't
Younger
remember.
brother. Younger brother.
From Tales from the Mos Eisley Cantina, your favorite of those stories?
Yes, no. Probably another reason I don't like Narshada, even though I want to see it in a movie. But
You're
yeah,
sick of it.
the Greedo story is just really rough. It's just so
It
long.
was very juvenile the way it was written by Tom Veitch, and
Yeah. Now we.
okay, let's see. Jump over here, grab these. I think I could.
I can't tell if in this game I like how crisp the audio is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's certainly really crisp in the menu, but
Yeah,
even in the game, it's like a huge step up from other games at the time.
yeah, it really is. Because when you hear the audio, like in Dark Forces and Tie Fighter and everything, like on Sound Blaster and what was, like all the dialogue always had kind of a static
Mm-hmm.
to
Yeah.
it. There was so many limitations on sampling real dialogue.
Yeah.
Unless it was on a CD-ROM, then it got a little better. But when it was
Yeah. Well,
a disc game, it was always kind of rough.
they didn't want to fill your hard drive up.
Yeah,
Now you gotta nowadays you have to contend with 100+ gig games.
yes. And I always remember, like, because the original disc version of X-Wing sampled a couple movie lines. I mean, there was like the attack another target and things like that, and, but they sampled Tarkin on the Death Star cutscene saying fire when ready or whatever, and they took it from the movie. But what's funny is you could hear that they sampled it like directly from the Laserdisc or whatever, because you could slightly hear the movie music for like half a second in the background.
Right. Right.
They didn't have like the Ben Burt sound library at their fingertips. They just popped in a Laserdisc and
You
captured
think
it.
they would though?
You think
That's
they
kind of
would?
interesting.
You think they would? But it could have
Because
just been.
everything was up. I mean, it's all there or close to the
Yeah.
ranch.
My
Well,
guess.
maybe.
My guess is that at that time, because X-Wing was only made in like 1 year, they were probably just like rushing on everything, and that was just one of those things that they're just like
Pop
screw
the laser disc in.
it. Yeah.
Well, it's
So
like uh, way back. I remember recording all of Palpatine's lines from Return of the Jedi from my
right.
THX VHS.
Yeah, and those turned out
Just
okay.
Yeah, they're pretty good, and just so I could have them. That was it.
Right.
Like I had no specific use other than I wanted to hear all his lines, like whenever I
Right.
wanted to. Such a fanboy.
There's one way to get power cells: blow up mouse
you go.
droids.
Yep.
All right. Right, this thing. Love that scaling. Still looks gorgeous.
Yeah, it holds up pretty well. It's just not. enough textures, but it what is there looks good.
Yeah, the movement of it looks great.
Yeah.
I just remember playing this for the first time at your old house in April '99, and being so impressed with this game. Just like, wow, everything looks gorgeous and great. And okay. In fact, before we left for Celebration 1, I think all I did was play the first two Narshada levels. That was so. This was totally my intro to. I mean, well, it has to be his first level, but
Yeah.
it was the first time I saw the game, and it was already a year and a half old by that point. But
Yeah, and I would have had I think I would have had just built my first home built PC. So it actually probably would have ran the game pretty well.
yeah, I was gonna say you recognize that freighter there? It's like the one from TIE Fighter and X-Wing.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. Remember that mission toward the end, having to disable all those freighters that had
Yeah,
the rebel prisoners on board.
right, on XVT. Yeah,
Take another look at it.
there it
Oh
is.
yeah, that's totally it.
Yep.
There you go.
And I think can't remember the company that makes those freighters, if it's Telgorn Corporation or another one, but oh damn. I was disappointed that it's not seen in too many other Star Wars media things, just like a lot of X-Wing and TIE Fighter ships. They're kind of singular with how much they use
Yeah,
them.
well, and they would fit in really well, and it'd be good just as like random background cargo,
Right.
little cargo container ships.
So one thing I did love though that was kind of a retcon was I think by the time of X-Wing Alliance it was basically the continuity. Do you remember what company owned all the container types?
I don't. I mean that's 20 years.
Right. So you'll get a kick out of this though. It was XTS, which was Shizor Transport Systems. So
Oh
literally,
yeah.
Shizor, because remember in Shadows of the Empire, it says that he's the head of this massive shipping company.
Right, right.
So basically, like just about every container in the galaxy is Shizor's company, which would
That's
explain his massive wealth.
right, yeah. His reach and his influence.
Right. So yeah, that was a cool little retcon. I think when you, I don't think it's super clear in X-Wing Alliance unless you go to the tech room, and it might tell you on one of the diagrams
Mhm.
or something. But or it might even just say XTS. It might not even say Shizor. But yeah, that was kind of cool. Man, these guys are everywhere.
That was such a BFD when Shaz the Empire came out.
Yeah, it sure was.
Soundtrack, the book,
Man,
the
that was
games.
I was so pumped for that whole series that year. And in fact, I think I bought the book and I still waited a week or two to read it until I got the soundtrack because I wanted to
Yeah.
do it together. And I even like heard the soundtrack, as I was listening to the certain scenes in the book.
Mhm.
It was really fun. And yeah, I mean, me and my dad, that was when I was heavily into collecting the new Kenner figures. 96. That was the year that really took off for me. And yeah, me and my dad would go to Toys R Us and flip through dozens and dozens of the same, C3PO figure, just trying to find the new Dash Rendar
Yeah.
or Chewie as Snuva, the Wookiee bounty hunter with his add-ons that he had.
Well, it was that book was we didn't get a lot of Vader in novels
No, we
at that
didn't. We
time.
didn't.
Like, so that's part of why it was such a big deal, is that it
Yep.
was set in between two of the movies.
Yeah, the whole period between Empire and Jedi, it had only really been covered in the old '80s Marvel comics,
Mm-hmm.
just a little bit, and in the '90s, those were kind of seen as kind of not really out of continuity, but they weren't. They were kind of seen as like inferior compared to the
Yes.
Bantam continuity.
Yeah.
So yeah, and these days I think the Marvel comics are held in a higher regard, mostly out of nostalgia for the older fans that read them in the '80s,
Yeah.
and they've been kind of melded with. I mean, not that any of that is canon anymore, anyway, but they've been kind of, I don't know, mythologized. Let's see. Guess I go back down here, I think. Ouch. And then
Have you slipped down there on the behind you?
down below here.
Yeah, there's like some stuff.
I think there is, huh? Oh yeah. You're right.
Greedo's brother, his other brother,
Yeah.
his mom, Greedo's
Greedo's mom.
I mean, they don't confirm that his mom and brother died in the.
Yeah, you're right. They kind
It's
of.
just implied.
You're right. You don't see them die. Just the whole level of Narshada just collapses.
They use the Lucasfilm trapdoor like Mola Ram and
Mola Ram and
Admiral
Piet.
Piet.
Okay, let's see here. Where do I go? I'm gonna go down here.
I think it's down there.
Oh yeah, and then I ride this thing up. Where's the switch?
It's the other
The other
one,
side?
I think. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I gotta lower it, then I gotta raise it. Okay. But yeah, Shadows of the Empire was a really big deal. I skimmed the comic in stores, but I don't think I fully read the comic that showed. I mean, it was basically a retelling of the novel, but you got to see Boba Fett's point of view
Mm-hmm.
on a few scenes. And the whole scene of Boba Fett taking out IG-88 in his ship over Tatooine, and then before Slave One gets damaged and he has to go to Gaul, that was actually lifted from. That scene was originally shown in a West End Games book, in a little story vignette. So then I guess they just kind of skimmed that, and they're like, oh, let's just take this segment here and adapt it, and then we'll tell the comic story from that point. So that was kind of cool. But yeah, and that reminds me, there's the TIE Bomber. See, XVT model.
Yeah, that's right. How many of those things they got to take out before they launch all their proton torpedoes?
Yeah. But I was gonna say it was cool that this year in 2020 the Shadows of the Empire soundtrack is getting re-released on vinyl, and I'm not sure about if it's getting a CD re-release. I don't think it is, but
Wasn't it a multimedia CD?
yes, it was, and you can't get it to do that on modern computers.
Yeah,
It wasn't much. It had some
just some
concept
pictures
art
and stuff.
Yeah, it had some Ralph McQuarrie artwork, and some. I think there was a few pictures of the toys and things like that. I do remember putting it in my first computer back when I got it, and it was just like a little slideshow. I think you just go left to right, and
It was pretty underwhelming.
it was pretty underwhelming. I just remember
Soundtrack was good though.
Soundtrack was great, and I was hoping to go on YouTube and see if anyone just put the slideshow up, and I scoured the internet, and no one has done that yet. So,
Maybe I'll do that.
That would be really
and we can
cool
put it up
because
on the channel. Because I somewhere I've got the disc, and I'm sure I can.
if you could,
I can either, you know, use a virtual machine
yeah,
or a old computer to do it.
man, that would be so cool if you could do it. Because like, and not only that, but you know, people have
I know the fans are clamoring for the multimedia content from
well,
Shadows of the
I'll
Empire.
tell you what they're really clamoring for. If you could do this also, or because people have done it partially, is people want to see behind the magic, like more segments from it on YouTube. Because
I could do that. Yeah, I think I could.
that and making magic are the two that they really need like a good YouTube presentation with actually with like no one talking over it, just like here's the video,
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah.
mean?
You don't need some a hole. Oh, here's this little video.
Right. Okay.
But you know the thing is, I mean, I don't think that I wouldn't think that the Disney watchdogs would be hounding somebody for posting just those
I don't
multimedia discs. But you know, if you don't say anything, it's not transformative. It's
right.
not.
I don't think it'd be a big deal. I mean, you can watch full videos of the games like Rebel Assault and things
Yeah, I
like
guess that's
that.
true.
So,
I guess that's true.
should be okay. I think they're more worried about movie clips,
Yeah,
even silent ones with people talking over them.
I guess that's just the algorithm.
That is
I'm
the
pretty
algorithm.
sure no one's fed the making magic
The algorithm.
content. Yeah, they haven't fed it into the machine to block it.
They're like, no one's gonna care about this LucasArts CD-ROM from 1998.
The servers at Google are waiting, having been programmed with Nick Jameson's voice patterns.
Right.
If they hear Nick Jameson doing the Emperor, you're done.
Right. I'm gonna go get some little things here real quick. Actually, screw that. I don't need to. I'm just retreading things I don't need to do. Oh,
No, it's just not interesting.
yeah.
That part of the level.
Oh, he opened the door. Wish he'd fall into the fan.
It's yeah, and just get gibbed. Oh, hey, there he goes.
8T88. You know it's Star Wars when someone loses an arm.
Yeah, the one-armed robot. I didn't kill my wife. I didn't kill Morgan Katarn. I don't care.
A TIE bomber of all things. And then he just like takes a glancing shot from a TIE bomber. Like
It's
at
interesting though.
50 feet
Right.
away.
Yeah. But it's interesting they chose a bomber versus just a regular TIE fighter, which is nice. It's
Yeah.
nice to have like
Little
that.
difference.
Yeah.
Content old man.
So much for the relaxing chat.
Jan, meet me at the top. I've got to get that disc.
See, you get all excited like, I'm leaving Narshada. It's like, nope, you're not.
No, you're not.
You're not.
2 out of 6.